So, next myth over, we're going to pop back over to Africa. This time a little further south. That is to say, East Africa in Rwanda. I lament my lack of context for some of these things because they just happen. So, there's this lightning god. And his name is Nkuba.
Okay, cool name. He gets points for that.
Yeah. He has a wife who is unable to have children. Now, this is a pretty typical premise. You know, it's like a Thumbelina or Tom Thumb premise, but weirder. Anyway, her husband Nkuba, he's a busy god. He's the king of the gods. He's busy smiting people. He's a very smitey god. He loves his work.
I got things to smite.
Yeah.
Gotta go pick up milk.
Okay, so Nkuba's wife, while Nkuba's off doing his job, presumably smiting people in an African epic, she gets all lonely and she's like, I want a baby. And I can't have a baby, either because I can't have babies or because my husband isn't around enough to give me babies. So I'm going to do the most logical thing and kill one of his cows.
Wait. I've heard about the baby making process. That's not involved.
This is one of those things where I have no symbolic context, and my big fat book of myth tells me nothing. But she isn't prompted to kill a cow. She just does it because it makes sense to her to kill a cow, take out its heart, and put its heart in a clay pot.
I've always wanted to do those 3 specific things.
She puts this cow heart in a clay pot and feeds it milk for 9 months.
Now, that's like some Binding of Isaac creepy stuff
and
here.
then it turns into a baby.
That's some...
Either it hatches into a baby, or a baby appears on top of the heart, or something.
Now, that's some Full Metal Alchemist stuff here. Is it a homunculus?
I don't know. But this seemed like a lot. I want to know, because evidently there was a reason that this is occurring. If anybody could tell me African symbolism that leads people to believe, yeah, cow hearts turn into babies when you feed them milk inside a clay pot. Or maybe this is just the way things work in heaven in this particular mythology.
Is heaven exist in this mythology?
No, yeah, she's in heaven. She's the queen of the gods.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, actually, she's not the queen of the gods. She's just like one of the wives of the king of the gods. I think he had more than one. Anyway, this baby is born, and now she has a baby, and she loves the baby, and the baby eventually grows up in heaven and then gets bored of being in heaven and digs a hole in the floor of heaven and jumps down the hole to earth, where he becomes the first king of mankind, named Kigwa. Yeah. I think it was because he had godlike wisdom, and all of the humans, it was one of those this person brings humans fire type scenario where he brings certain information from heaven and they find it valuable, so he gets to be in charge. But it's just one of those wacky myths that is devoid of context in my giant stupid book.
Okay.
So that's it.
Is that it?
That is it.
I feel like that's kind of short.
Yeah. I could do another king myth.
Record.
Okay. Well, that one is super short. Let's do a second one that's very similar. Anyway, there's another African myth about the first king of the universe. First king of mankind. From the Zulus in South Africa.
Okay, so this is not the same cow baby.
Not exactly, no.
Okay.
It's a different country.
Okay.
But the king of the gods, again, has a son. But instead of his wife, instead of the king of the gods' wife stealing the cow, the son is the one that steals the cow.
Okay.
So his son steals his dad's favorite white cow, and the high king of the gods goes, that's unacceptable behavior, and so he bungees his son out of the roof of heaven.
Wait,
by an umbilical cord.
What?
It's really weird. Okay, so he ties an umbilical cord around his son and says, you hang down there until you've learned what your lesson.
Just when he's had lying around? Like, my dad has a junk drawer, and he has no umbilical cords in it. Where do you get one?
It specifically he says umbilical cord.
Okay.
That's what he had available, I guess. It's a magical umbilical cord. It's tied around his waist.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, you
after
can
a
get those at
month in
7-Eleven.
umbilical cord grounding, the high god took pity on his son, and rather than pull him up, he set down a woman, also on an umbilical cord, to hang out with him down there.
Not just one, but two. He had two umbilical cords lying around.
And so he lets them both down onto the earth to live on the earth, and takes up the umbilical cord and closes up heaven behind you. And you live down there. And he becomes the first king of the Zulu. Because and it's the kind of same premise after that. The Kugwa was that he had heavenly wisdom, so mankind found his input valuable and said, "Yeah, I'm going to put you in charge of stuff."
Okay, so someone who's much more wise than they are, they just make king? That's interesting.
Well, that makes sense. That's in like myth everywhere.
Yeah.
You're really smart. We're gonna put you in charge.
Yeah, this is like
It's
a
like
Solomon
King Arthur
thing.
too. Like he had Merlin's wisdom. He was put made in king.
Oh. Okay.